Niagara did a great job. Game was moving too fast for us. It was a big concern of ours. Guys aren't ready to digest action going that fast, and they exposed us.
We'll take questions for Coach or Jermaine.
Kind of, you mentioned it the other day. It seemed like that's what you were afraid of, and that's
Yep.
exactly what happened. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You also said, when we talked about, well, I was talking about a show for the fans. You said Niagara puts on a lot of shows. I guess they kind of did tonight too.
Yeah, yeah. It's the reason they're a leading scoring team in the conference, and you know, our defense has really improved from last year. But when you have to do it at that kind of speed, then you just, our guys aren't ready to do that.
I mean, the game was close for about 10 minutes and back and forth in the second half. What was the difference in that end of the first half run when they pulled ahead?
We just didn't play defense, not the way that we know how to, and that fueled them.
Offensively, you guys missed a lot of shots in that stretch. Were you doing anything differently, rushing shots at all?
Jermaine, is there a moment when it seems like they were making shot after shot, and you're like, they've got, one of these has to rim out? I mean, where's the frustration level in that second half when it just seemed like they couldn't miss?
We just got to do a better job, making it tough on them. Obviously they hit some deep ones, but we knew that. We seen that on film, and we got to do a better job of getting out there and making things tough.
How about the rebounding, Jermaine? You got out rebounding a lot of times early. You got your hands on balls, but you couldn't control.
I just got to do a better job of securing those with the team.
Reggie, what did not having Sullivan do today?
I don't want to. Niagara played great, so I don't want to come in here and say this would have been that way or would have been that way, because it might not have been that way. It might have been the same way, because it was moving too fast. Now, for us, it took a guy. We had to start the game with, guys who have been playing spot minutes, and then it got downhill from there. But that doesn't mean it would have necessarily been better. I would like to think it would have been, but I don't know that.
Malik's foul trouble, did that take you guys out of rhythm at all?
Yeah, it did.
Well, my question is, it seems like if he's not maybe best player, he's pretty important. It doesn't seem like you have a guy you can bring in that plays like he plays if he's not in the game.
Well, here's what it does. When the game is moving really fast, you're without your fastest guy. But it was moving fast for him too. Towns was pretty damn good, and so it certainly did affect us. But we knew that this was going to be a challenge.
Canisius losing on their home floor to the Niagara Purple Eagles, blown out really 105 to 89. That's the only way to really say it. And they made a couple of valiant runs at different times in the second half, cutting it from 22 to 10 and a couple of times. Never did get it to single digits.
Never did. It was Crumpton, I think, was on the line, and we were speculating to get it down there and talking about the momentum when you get it, the crowd gets in, but never did. But the better team won tonight. They executed better, they hustled more, and Canisius kind of got caught up in some of the side antics that I don't think is productive for anyone. And then Mr. Towns really put on a show there tonight for Niagara, and it adds up to a nice win.
Absolutely, 31 points for James Towns, and it was Niagara's night here at the Kessler Center. Purple Eagles shooting 53% from the field, barely missed from the free throw line, and hardly went to the line at all in the first half, as a matter of fact, and out-rebounded Canisius miserably as well.
Early in the game, right, Jay, we were talking about they were playing volleyball there, just pounding the boards. You could see that was a specific strategy, and it's reflected there in that statistic.
And our player of the game will be, well, we had a lot of folks to choose from. We had Khalil Dukes, Matt Scott, but James Towns with 31 points, a career high, 13 points over his career high for Niagara.
Yeah, he was terrific, and he was downhill. There was a nice floater there, but that's his game right there. And boy, I think I said in the broadcast, he has only one speed, and he even made a couple unusual threes for him, but he gave them a great spark, and he did it all tonight, obviously, with 31 points. Outstanding effort for him.
So James Towns, our player of the game. Canisius and Niagara both actually do the same road trip next weekend. Canisius will go to Marist on Friday, play St. Peter's on Sunday. Niagara goes to St. Peter's on Friday. They've got Marist on Sunday.
The moral of the story is you got to show up, right? You got to show up, and what you've done up to this point means nothing, especially in a rivalry game.
Absolutely. Niagara dominating here tonight at the Kessler Athletic Center. So for Richard Walsh, I'm Jay Moran saying so long from the Kessler Athletic Center, where the final score is Niagara 105, Canisius 89. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live on the ESPN app. Or to watch this entire game on replay as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.